A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies, but the one who never reads lives only once. How many of you here have read a book, thought, and said that, nice book, but nothing really changed in me? If yes, then raise your hands. Yes, I can see some hands being raised here. Hands down. Well, I was in the second category, where books were just books for me, until one book flipped my entire life upside down. It said that when we read, we don't just cross pages, but we cross boundaries. Jai Hind everyone, I'm Alankrita from Birla International School. Looking back from where I started, I never imagined that I would be standing here today on this red spot speaking to all of you. Growing up in Belgavi, my childhood was filled with fun and laughter. I loved dancing, singing, and traveling. But deep inside, I was an introvert and had a shy personality. I was the kid who never raised a hand for anything, nor the one who wanted the spotlight. I was the kid who sat quietly in the corner. But here came the twist. I read a line that said that winners don't do different things. They do things differently. This line hit me straight into the heart and made me realize something very important. The first boundary I had to break was my own, the fear of being seen. Slowly, I started participating in all the school activities, cultural events, and competitions. From being the shy kid in the corner, I became the one who stood up on stages. But it wasn't easy. Whenever I used to step ahead, a voice inside me used to whisper, "What if you fail? What if people laugh at you? What if you're not good enough?" And I'm sure we all have heard that voice too. Now tell me, how many of you here held back just because of fear or self-doubt? Well, almost all of us, and even me too. As I grew busier, one more boundary entered my life, and that was time. Balancing my hobbies, studies, competitions, extracurricular activities, and performances, I got too exhausted. At one point, even my health started to fail. I remember lying on the bed and thinking, maybe I cannot manage it all. But then I discovered the secret, and that was time management and discipline. And I also realized one thing, that boundaries are not always outside us. They are the limits that we accept in our own minds. And when we break them, everything becomes possible. So I learned them to prioritize, to plan, and most importantly, to say no to distractions. As speaking of distractions, let's talk about social media. Scrolling endlessly, comparing ourselves with others, and feeling not enough. Sound familiar? How many of you here have lost hours on social media and then suddenly thought, where did my time go? If yes, then raise your hands. Almost all of us, and even me too. But then I realized something, that social media can either be a prison of comparison or it can be a window of learning. Choice is ours. As I grew older, I had to choose a bigger goal. So I wanted to pursue civil services. One day, I got an opportunity to meet a young civil servant who visited our school. He spoke not just about his powers or positions, but he spoke how a single decision of an officer matters in changing thousands of lives. And I still remember the way he said that success is not about what you achieve for yourself, it is about how many lives you touch along the way. And that line hit a fire in my heart, and I could see my purpose clearly. And that meeting gave me directions to dream big about civil services. Even once my father told me, if you want to be a civil servant, then you need to be strong in academics, general knowledge, and most importantly, discipline. Discipline is not a restriction, it is the wings that give us a flight to our dreams. And that became my compass. But let me be honest with you. Breaking boundaries is not about doing something extraordinary. It doesn't take any magic, nor it doesn't take any perfection. It takes one thought, one decision, and one act of courage. Now let us talk about what breaking boundaries are what we accept in our own minds, like societal expectations, fear, self-doubt. Let me tell you, they are all not fixed. They can be changed. And how can they be changed? By seeking inspiration, by believing in our own voice, by cultivating discipline, by taking small but consistent steps. That book, which I read, didn't just inspire me to stand on stages or win competitions. It gave me a bigger purpose. And it also made me realize that boundaries are not the walls, they are the doors that are waiting for you to open them. And the key is always in our own hands. So let me ask you this. What boundary is holding you back right now? Is it fear? Is it self-doubt? Or time? Think about it, because if one shy girl from Belgavi can change your entire life just through a single book, then trust me, even you too can. In simpler terms, boundaries are not the walls, they are the doors that are waiting for us to open them. With one thought, one decision, and one step, you can change your life and others too. Remember, books don't just inform us, they transform us. Books don't just change our thinking, books don't just change our knowledge, but they change our thinking. And when thinking changes, the world changes. So go ahead, break boundaries, collect your heart, and rise with confidence. Thank you.